At exactly 4:17 a.m., radar operators aboard the USS Thomas Hudner detected something that made their screens light up like a Christmas tree. 23 contacts, rising from Iranian coastal positions near Bandar Abbas. Small, slow, buzzing toward the Strait of Hormuz 100 miles per hour. Drone swarm. 23 cheap flying bombs, each packed with 50 kilograms of explosives and a GPS chip that costs less than your smartphone. This wasn't going to be a fair fight. The Thomas Hudner isn't alone. The Arleigh Burke-class destroyer sails as part of a carrier strike group patrolling these waters. 9,000 tons of American steel powered by 4 General Electric LM2500 gas turbines, generating 100,000 shaft horsepower. Her Aegis SPY-1D phased array radar can track over 1,000 targets simultaneously, while calculating firing solutions faster than the Iranian military can type a situation report. Incoming drones aren't a challenge, they're an itemized invoice waiting to be paid in tungsten and fire. The Iranian Quds Force planned this moment carefully. The attack employed Shahed 136 loitering munitions, delta-wing kamikaze drones built from foam and plywood, each one 3.5 meters long with a 2.5-meter wingspan, powered by a 50-horsepower piston engine reverse-engineered from German commercial motors. They cost between $20,000 and $50,000 to build, cheap enough to spam, accurate enough to hit large targets. But the Quds Force commanders failed to understand one thing. The Strait of Hormuz isn't Ukraine. Just 21 miles of open water at the narrowest point, watched by the most powerful navy ever assembled, backed by satellite constellations that can read license plates from orbit. Sending cheap drones into this environment isn't asymmetric warfare. It's feeding goldfish to sharks. The Shaheds launched in waves from portable truck-mounted rails. Solid rocket boosters slammed each drone to cruise speed before falling away. The propellers kicked in, that distinctive buzzing roar. 23 flying threats now accelerating toward international shipping lanes carrying 20% of the world's oil. Each drone programmed with GPS coordinates, each one aimed at American warships. The Iranians believed they were demonstrating capability, showing the world they could threaten the strait. They were half right about the response part. 4:19 a.m., the Combat Information Center aboard the Thomas Hudner shifted from routine to focused within seconds. No panic, just process. The Aegis SPY-1D radar had been tracking those launches since they cleared Iranian airspace. The Aegis combat system had already classified them. Threat level, speed, trajectory, time to weapons range. The tactical action officer didn't need to consult a manual. The response was automatic. How does the Aegis combat system work? Think of it as the world's most advanced air traffic controller, except instead of preventing collisions, it orchestrates violence with surgical precision. The SPY-1D radar uses 4 phased array faces mounted on the destroyer's superstructure. Each face scans a 90-degree sector. Together, they provide 360-degree coverage with no blind spots. The system electronically steers radar beams jumping between targets in microseconds. When a drone appears on radar, Aegis instantly calculates its speed, bearing, altitude, and projected intercept point. It compares that data against known threat libraries, classifies the contact, assigns it a priority number. Then it recommends a firing solution using the most cost-effective weapon for the job. All of this happens faster than a human operator can process the raw data. The first defensive layer wasn't kinetic, it was electronic. The destroyer's AN/SLQ-32 electronic warfare suite activated. Powerful radio frequency jammers began flooding the airspace with white noise, attempting to blind the Shahed's GPS guidance. Except the Iranians had learned from Ukraine. These drones used inertial navigation as backup, gyroscopes and accelerometers that tracked position without external signals. The jamming degraded their accuracy, but didn't stop them. They kept coming. Second layer. The USS Mason, sailing 8 miles to starboard, began tracking the swarm with her own sensors. data link systems connected both ships in real time. What one ship sees, both ships know. The tactical picture was complete. 23 drones now 40 miles out, closing at 100 miles per hour. Time to weapons range, 24 minutes. The firing solution appeared on every screen in the Combat Information Center. Not missiles, not yet. The drones were too cheap to waste expensive interceptors. The Aegis system recommended something far more economical. Wait until they close to 2 miles, then engage with the Phalanx close-in weapons system.
4:37 a.m. The swarm had closed to 12 miles. Flight paths steady, no evasive maneuvers, predictable, which made them easy to kill. But something changed. 6 new contacts appeared on radar, larger signatures, faster. These weren't Shaheds. The Aegis system classified them instantly. Shahed 129 combat drones, Iran's answer to the American MQ-1 Predator. 24-hour endurance, 1,200-mile operational range, and critically, the ability to carry guided munitions, each one potentially armed with Sadid-1 precision-guided bombs. The Iranians had mixed in actual combat UAVs to complicate the tactical picture. The tactical action officer made the call. RIM-116 rolling airframe missiles. Engage the Shahed 129s before they reach launch range. Let Phalanx handle the suicide drones. 4:41 a.m. Exactly. The order came down. Fire RAM. On the Thomas Hudner's aft superstructure, the SeaRAM launcher rotated. 11 RIM-116 Block II missiles ready to fly. The system uses sensors derived from the Phalanx CIWS, but replaces the Gatling gun with guided missiles. Autonomous. Fire and forget. Each RAM missile weighs 73 kilograms, travels at Mach 2+, homes on targets using passive radio frequency detection and infrared seekers. It listens for the drone's radar emissions, watches for its heat signature. Then it rolls as it flies, using the spinning motion to scan all planes of incoming energy with just 2 antennas instead of 4. The first RAM launched with a flash and a roar, rocket motor igniting. The missile screamed off the rail at supersonic speed. 2 seconds later, the second followed, then the third. 3 missiles targeting 3 Shahed 129 combat drones. Time to impact? 18 seconds. The RAM doesn't negotiate. It detects, it tracks, it kills. The first missile's infrared seeker locked under the heat signature of a Shahed 129's engine. The missile rolled through its final approach, making micro-corrections with 4 independent control surfaces. At 15 meters from target, the proximity fuse detonated the 11.4-kilogram warhead. Fragmentation tore through the lightweight airframe. The Shahed 129 came apart in mid-air. 2 more explosions followed within 6 seconds. 3 combat drones erased from the tactical picture. 3 potential guided munitions carriers neutralized before they could threaten the strike group. Cost per missile, approximately $905,000. Total expenditure, $2.7 million. Return on investment, preventing drones worth maybe $200,000 each from potentially damaging a $1.8 billion destroyer. The remaining 3 Shahed 129s turned, attempting to retreat. The Aegis system tracked them, calculated intercept solutions, but they were already accelerating back toward Iranian airspace. Let them go. The real threat was still incoming. 4:43 a.m. The 23 Shahed 136 suicide drones reached 2 miles. The Phalanx CIWS activated. Here's what makes the Phalanx both beautiful and terrifying. It's completely autonomous in close-in defense mode. Humans give it permission to fire. After that, the system makes every decision. Its radar detects incoming targets. Its computer calculates threat vectors. Its 6-barrel M61 Vulcan rotary cannon fires 4,500 rounds per minute. That's 75 tungsten core bullets every second. Each round costs approximately $46. The Mk244 Enhanced Lethality cartridge uses a 15mm tungsten penetrator inside a plastic sabot, fired at 3,600 feet per second, designed to shred incoming missiles by destroying their airframes, turning guided weapons into tumbling debris. The first Phalanx launched at 1.8 miles. The distinctive buzzsaw roar ripped through the pre-dawn air. A 2-second burst, 150 rounds downrange. The stream of tungsten created a wall of metal in the drone's flight path. The Shahed 136 flew directly into it. The airframe disintegrated. The 50-kilogram warhead fell into the sea without detonating. 2 more explosions followed within 6 seconds. 3 combat drones erased from the tactical picture. 3 potential guided munitions carriers neutralized before they could threaten the strike group. Cost per missile, approximately $95. The Phalanx, more amusing facts. Each of 23 Shahed 136 suicide drones has about a 50% chance of shooting down its own gun. Interesting. But the Predator was fast. It had way more sensors, and it could shoot back.
For 4 minutes, the Phalanx systems aboard both destroyers created a defensive perimeter of supersonic tungsten. Drones entered the kill zone. Drones ceased to exist. The radar picture cleaned up like someone erasing chalk marks from a board. 23 contacts became 17, then 11, then 5. The final, Shahed 136, almost made it through. GPS guidance degraded by jamming, flight path erratic. It descended to 50 feet above the water, sea skimming, trying to exploit radar blind spots. The Phalanx tracked it anyway. The SPY-1D radar can distinguish fighter jets from seagulls at 200 miles. A drone at 400 meters might as well be wearing a reflective vest. Final burst. 100 rounds. The drone's propeller separated from its body. The airframe crumpled. It cartwheeled into the Persian Gulf, trailing smoke and foam fragments. 4:47 a.m. Silence. The Combat Information Center displays showed clear skies. No incoming threats, no hostile contacts. The electronic warfare suite went passive. The Phalanx systems returned to standby. The entire engagement lasted 30 minutes from first detection to final kill. 29 Iranian drones launched, 29 Iranian drones destroyed, 0 hits on American vessels, 0 casualties, 0 damage. The cost analysis wrote itself in real time. Iran expended 23 Shahed 136 suicide drones at approximately $35,000 each, 6 Shahed 129 combat UAVs at roughly $200,000 each. Total Iranian investment, approximately $2 million in hardware. Operational costs, including fuel, transportation, and launch crews, roughly $500,000. Total cost to Iran, $2.5 million. The United States expended 3 RIM-116 RAM missiles at $905,000 each. Total, $2.7 million. Phalanx ammunition, approximately 2,300 rounds of Mk244 Enhanced Lethality cartridges at $46 per round. Total, $105,800. Combined American expenditure, $2.8 million. On paper, the costs look almost balanced, but the numbers tell a lie. Iran lost 29 drones representing months of production capacity. They revealed their launch tactics to American intelligence. They demonstrated their inability to saturate modern air defenses, and they accomplished absolutely nothing strategically. 0 ships damaged, 0 lanes closed, 0 political leverage gained. The United States proved it could defend the Strait of Hormuz against drone swarms using existing shipboard systems. They gathered electronic signatures on every Iranian drone launched. They recorded flight patterns, guidance systems, and attack profiles. Intelligence analysts in Norfolk were already writing reports before the last drone hit the water. The Thomas Hudner and Mason continued their patrol, unchanged heading, unchanged speed. The strait remained open. Tankers carrying 20% of global oil supply continued their transits. By noon, commercial shipping companies received classified briefings confirming the attack had been neutralized, with 0 disruption to maritime traffic.
Within 6 hours, Iranian state media released carefully edited footage claiming their drones had forced American destroyers to expend millions in defensive missiles. They called it a strategic victory. Meanwhile, satellite imagery showed the destroyers hadn't deviated from their planned route by a single degree. The Navy's official statement was 4 sentences long. Routine patrol, defensive systems functioned as designed, all threats neutralized, freedom of navigation maintained. This is how modern naval warfare works, not with dramatic ship-to-ship gun duels, with radar returns and automated fire control systems executing kill chains faster than humans can blink. The Iranians sent 29 drones to challenge American naval power. They might as well have sent strongly worded letters. Iran builds cheap weapons and calls it resourcefulness. America builds weapon systems that can engage 29 simultaneous threats while sailors drink coffee in the Combat Information Center. One side throws punches, hoping something lands. The other has already calculated every possible punch and prepared 6 counters for each one. You can spam cheap drones, you can launch from multiple directions, but when your adversary has radar systems that track over 1,000 targets simultaneously, automated weapons that fire 75 rounds per second, and missiles that travel at Mach 2, quantity doesn't overcome quality. The Strait of Hormuz remained open that morning, the same way it's remained open through 40 years of Iranian threats. Not because Iran lacks the will to close it, because America maintains the capability to keep it open regardless of what gets thrown at those ships. 29 drones trying to prove otherwise. The ocean floor off Bandar Abbas now holds their wreckage as evidence of how that experiment concluded. If you found this breakdown valuable, subscribe and share this video. Your support brings more untold stories of modern military operations to light.